Hey, good morning. Nah, it's not morning wherever you are, but I'm Tiffany and I'm recording in the morning for Tarot Friday for August 12th, which is the day after a full moon. So a beautiful, bright full moon in Aquarius. Maybe you had a crazy night last night. Maybe the energies kept you up. I love the full moon in Aquarius because it's a time when you can have come full circle with something that's kind of been driving you crazy. So if something's been stirred up for you, it's a good release moment where you understand the experience of enough is enough. So I hope everybody's safe out there. I want to start with the astrology for next week, and then we're going to move into Tarot Friday. So if you're here for a reading, great. Watch for your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, your boyfriend sign, your kid sign, whatever. But don't take anything personally, and take what you want. Take what resonates and leave the rest, right? This is just a fun, entertaining reading, a way to connect with spirit, a reminder that you were born wise, that you have psychic gifts, that you don't even need a psychic reader, that you can go meditate yourself and get all the answers that you need, following your own strategy and authority, of course. So next week in the astrology, we're going to be looking at August 15th through 21st. And this is kind of an interesting week because, Venus is going to trine Jupiter, which is a very lucky, fortunate combination. And so I want you to be on the lookout for some good news. This is a good time for making money moves. This is a good time for spending a little extra on yourself. This is a good time for making proper investments. Venus rules our love and our money, and in some ways our appearances. And Jupiter really inspires that which wants to expand. So expanding your beauty, expanding your growth, maybe even expanding your aura and connecting out into your meditation in a different way. So Venus trine Jupiter is the good news. And Mars is going to move into Gemini, and it's going to stay there through October 30th. Right? Yeah, it's going to be there August 20th through October 30th. And it is going to be in retrograde this season. So Mars and Gemini, this is where we've got one foot on the gas and another foot on the brakes. And it's this kind of back and forth feeling. Mars invigorates us and inspires us, and Gemini helps us want to learn new things. And so maybe there's a new class that you want to take. Maybe there's something you're inspired to do with your hands or your lungs or your shoulders, all things governed by Gemini. The challenging part of Mars and Gemini is many, right? And we don't need to go into that because it's Friday and we want to be hopeful. But Mars also can be where we get aggravated. Gemini rules schools, siblings, children that we grew up with. And so you might find that there's a blast from the past that you need to talk things out with. So there's some challenging aspects to be aware of. Like I said, I don't want to go into that. But then we've also got Mercury opposing Neptune. And this is where we need to stay open-minded, because Mercury is how we think, how we process information, and Neptune dissolves. And so in some ways, it can be good to dissolve if you're working with your meditation practice. But in other ways, it can be a time of confusion. So if things don't seem clear, if you're going back and forth in your mind, just know that the astrology supports that. And it doesn't have to make us nuts, right? We can just look at things from a different perspective, and we can work on letting our thoughts go. All right. A good trick for that is to give your mind, kind of the ego mind, a name. I have one for mine, and it was so weird. I watched a training from my teacher, and she has one for hers, and I didn't know that. And so it really validated that practice for me. When you name your mind, you can kind of look at it like a cute thing, like, oh, there she goes again. That's so sweet. Thank you for that chatter. And you can detach from it, and you can start to observe that instead of be that. And that's an act of conscious separation, can really, I guess, promote clear thinking in a time when there's a lot of back and forth thinking. So hopefully that has made a little bit of sense. I haven't had my coffee yet. Let's get into the cards. Do you want to? I'm going to use the Guardian of the Night deck. Okay, beautiful deck. And we are going to start like we always do with Aries. So I'm just going to clear the deck for Aries and invite anybody that is watching for Aries to take a big deep breath beginning to soften your ears so that you can listen with the ear of the heart and see just what's in store for our Aries for the weekend ahead. Some simple advice or guidance that helps them feel connected to the creative forces of the universe. What is it that our Aries need to hear? Okay. All right, we start with the Nine of Pentacles. To me, the Nine of Pentacles is a card of fortune. It's a good omen. It is when you get to kind of experience that Venus trine Jupiter that we're having next week. It's the moments of luxury where we get to, you're afforded the opportunity to enjoy the finer things in life. And so this can also be a reminder sometimes that the problems that we perceive aren't really problems, right? They're just barely even problems. And so this can be a reminder of having gratitude for wealth. It can be a reminder that the seeds that you planted long ago are coming to fruition, to have faith, to hold the faith. It can be a reminder, just that gratitude magic, to be thankful for all that is coming to you, right? Just like the gardener. This card reminds me a lot of gardening. And we also get the Knight of Wands. And so this is a good card for Aries because it's inspiring. So do something that feels like inspiring to you. Just go out there, do it, say something, get into the mix. The Knight of Wands is about shaking things up. This is a quest not only for information, but it's for information through the physical experience. So whatever you like to do in the physical body, just go do that and enjoy that this weekend. If you're able to get out and do a hike, even if you're not very mobile right now, there's something that you can do with the physical body that's going to help you have an information flush. Okay. All right, Aries. So doing something physical and being excited about the fruit that's coming with the seeds that you've planted, and just kind of holding on to that abundance mindset. Okay, let's clear the deck for Taurus. Very good. Okay, let's clear for Taurus and just see what it is our Taurus friends need to hear for the weekend ahead. Nine of Cups, beautiful, and an Eight of Swords. Okay, Taurus, so I do see here this Eight of Swords that you're in your own way, right? This can be the card where we're a prisoner of our own making, And so where have you gotten in your way emotionally? Is there something emotionally that's tripping you up over and over and over again? The Nine of Cups is about filling your cup, right? And so when your mind goes somewhere south, where do you reset it? You can use the trick to just say the word change. So anytime you're going back into anxiety thinking, panic thinking, waking up with a gut full of anxiety, having negative thoughts at all, especially about yourself, right? This is a reminder to look yourself in the mirror, put your hand on the mirror, say, I love you, you're beautiful, right? Self-talk, positive self-talk is going to go a long way. And then also just changing those negative thoughts. The second that they enter, change. Just say the word change out loud and do something else and try to get yourself out of that. This isn't a prediction that you're going to have negative thinking. This is an acknowledgement that maybe the way that you're thinking about something is preventing you from experience the richness in life, And so that Wayne Dyer quote, change the way you see things and the things you see change. It's something like that, right? All right, Taurus. So a little shift in perspective looks like some medicine for you this weekend. And always good information for all of us, right? All right, what is it that our Geminis need to hear? Just clearing the deck for our Geminis. We get a Four of Wands and a Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so Geminis, just the Four of Wands, it's an interesting card to explain, right? Because the Four is about stasis, stability, foundation, and then the Wands is about being in motion. And so I wonder if something this week, you could do something this weekend to kind of reset your foundation in some ways. That could be simple. That could be like washing the sheets, taking the trash out, making sure all of the vitamins that you're taking are fresh and clean, making sure that there's a reset in the refrigerator. It could be simple like that. But you might be experiencing the big waves of life and needing some just something to kind of go smooth. And this doesn't look like a weekend to just go crazy and get out there and be like climbing the biggest mountain and go, right? This feels more like I got to reset my home life right now. I want to reset also my budget, the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles makes me think of one of my good friends. And I just always have this vision of like the best mom in the world. And there's this beautiful like tomato sauce that's been roasting or cooking in her house. And you can walk in and smell all of the onions and garlic and basil and everything. And everything's clean and fresh. And it's like it's, you know, it just feels so good and crisp and organized and open. Okay. So that could be a great message for you, Gemini. You need, what at home needs to be reset? Did you let a corner get a little too piled up in your mind, in your computer, in your social media, in your life? This would be a good weekend to just reset, get the foundation clear. Okay, let's clear for our Cancer friends. Any Cancers watching? 2 cards fell out. We've got a 6 of Swords and an Empress. All right, Cancer, it looks like some of you have need to get back into your creative zone. So your brilliance lies in your creativity, and maybe you have been focused on something that's a little bit too mental or visceral or logical, right? And so this is kind of a time to get out of the logical and into the creative. You don't have to do anything, like you don't have to sell your art. You just have to get into that creative spirit. Creativity can come in a lot of forms, right? So this could be like a new meditation. Let's say that you want to practice your own self-healing. You could rub your hands together and visualize, you know, whatever color of the rainbow that you want, and just start to visualize that coming through your hands and just place it on an area that needs some healing. That can be creative. Creativity could be getting some old yarn out and doing a weaving. It could be going to a floral arrangement class. It could be picking up rocks and painting them. It could be going for a walk and doing like a walking meditation and just like allowing spirit to flow through you, right? So this is a reminder that it's not about you thinking your way into this isn't about you like creating or step by step or really even controlling things. This is about information flowing through you. And so where can you get out of the way and let spirit flow through you? The Empress is also a great signal to be outside in your garden and connect with that earth goddess magic. So anything you can do that feels grounding and earthy to you this weekend, maybe set your crystals out, you know what I mean? Do something fun like that. Let's clear for Leo. What is it that our Leo friends need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some simple advice or guidance. Just reaching out to you in the field of unconditional love and infinite wisdom where all things are possible. Okay. All right, so an 8 of Swords for our Leos too here. And a 6 of Pentacles. Interesting. So there might need to be a conversation, again, like maybe the astrology makes a lot of sense to you, that kind of conversation with a childhood friend, a blast from the past. Maybe there's a family situation that needs to be discussed. It could be some of those skeletons in the closet coming out type of a feeling is what I'm getting. And can there be just no judgment? You know, can there just be no disapproval? Can there just be like no attachment really? And so this would be detaching from some topic from the past that previously has triggered you or gotten into your central nervous system in a way that you're replicating patterns. Where can you just kind of detach and try to let go of it? That exercise about naming the mind and being like, oh, that's cute. That's a cute thought. Thanks for that thought. I'm going to let that one go. You can start to categorize, right? You can categorize your thoughts into future and past. And that way, that's another way that you can let them go. Oh, I'm having that old thought. That's cute. All right. That's so sweet. Now I'm going to breathe and be present. Oh, that's a future thought. I'm going to just let that one go. Thank you so much, mind. You're brilliant. Just going to just move back into the present moment. It does look like something needs to come up and out of you. And so if it's not a conversation, which just be careful with your words, right? Like be careful. But this could be like a letter that you write, you know, that you never send. Something is kind of stuck in here. And you're creating from this place of chatter, of mind chatter, and I want you to get it out of you in a piece of paper safely, and try to not let yourself be affected by it. But it does seem like there's a conversation that needs to happen, and it needs to get out of you so that you can create from a clean space of non-judgment and just be really detached to some old issue that's talking to you right now. Man, and if we all do that, what a different world we'd live in, right? Okay, let's clear for our Virgos. What is it that our Virgos need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance, just something simple. Even the backs of these cards are gorgeous, aren't they? Okay, Virgos, 4 of Pentacles and Justice. All right. So this is when you can feel like really passionate about fighting for the underdog or the poor or the impoverished or the somebody that you feel is kind of getting a raw deal. And how do you do that? You have your own wealth and abundance. So sometimes it's like staying on your own mat and letting karma play out. This also kind of reminds me that you don't need to rescue somebody. You might be in that. I want to say, thank you, Spirit, that includes yourself. What a weird thing to say. So are you trying to rescue somebody? Is it yourself? And is there a moment where you can detach and not try to fix something and let things kind of just be what they are? I know that there's a part of you that really wants to help or fix or change something financially for somebody else or yourself. But the Justice card, I think, is going to help sort things out on its own. So try not to get in the middle of a financial situation that's like not yours in a way to handle. I'm going to leave that with you. Okay, Virgos, there's something there for you. The Justice card, that's like Mars and Virgo coming up. It's kind of weighing the options out, seeing what's possible. It might be making you crazy. There might be a situation where somebody's not spending correctly, or they're spending too much, or you're afraid that they're going to spend it all and you're going to have to take care of them, like that type of a thing going on. That might happen, but it might need to happen. And I don't know what the cosmic karmic laws are, right, for that person. And neither do you, right? And so if you're feeling like you're about to fix or enable or rescue somebody this weekend, just remember you didn't cause it, you can't cure it. So let it ride out. Just let it ride out. What if you just this time just observed instead of got in there? Just see what happens. Do you want to experiment with that? You don't have to. Let's clear for our after Virgo is Libra, right? Clear for our Libras. What is it that our Libras need to hear for this weekend ahead? Just some practical advice or guidance. Maybe taking a deep breath in if you're receiving. Okay. All right, we got an 8 of Wands and a 5 of Swords. All right, so Libras, sorry to say it like this, but this is when something happens quickly, and this is grief. And so there might be a moment where you have a flash of grief or something comes on quickly out of nowhere. The other day I was journaling at treated myself to breakfast. It was so yummy. And and like this song came on, and out of nowhere I'm just like crying and writing, and I think the waitress was like, okay, like what? But sometimes you're going to have those flashes of grief, and they're very healing moments. So I would say, Libra, just let it happen. If you have a moment where it's like all of a sudden you're meditating, everything's fine, all of a sudden you're crying, let those moments happen. It looks like something's trying to flush through your system too. And I think that if you cry, like if you want to get into crying, it's not going to be more than 20 minutes or so. You're not going to go off the edge of the earth and die crying, right? It's what it feels like sometimes. The 5 of Swords is a grief unexpressed. And so is there something inside of you that is wanting to come out and express itself in a healthy way? I think it'll happen quickly if you'll just let it, almost like a sneeze, almost like a sneeze. Anything else for... Yeah, I just feel like you need to give it a rest. There's something that has got to be expressed and then rest. It's like a good cry and a nap. Nobody wants that for their weekend forecast, but that's what it looks like is maybe in store. Maybe that can just be an hour of your weekend and you can go out and enjoy the rest of it. You don't have to listen to this reading, but maybe somebody really needed that, permission to just have a good cry and a nap. And so I don't know. Oh, I never know what Spirit's going to do in these readings, and I can't predict it. So Libras, let's see what happens if you give yourself some space to process something. All right, let's clear for our Scorpios. What is it that our Scorpios need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance for any Scorpios watching. Ooh, a Tower card and a Four of Wands. And so a Tower card is when things disassemble. And so maybe some of our Scorpios are feeling very disoriented, that things are up in the air, that things are crumbling down, that things are not stable, that there's been a foundation that has been rocked. This can also be a card to dissolve something, you know, to purposely knock something down. This is the wrecking ball card, right? And so what in your life is a wrecking ball or needs to be a wrecking ball? Scorpios are really good at creating self-sabotage, so don't do it in a harmful way, right? But there's the idea here that the Tower card is working in your favor to really break something down so that you can reorient it with the proper structure. Four of Wands, here we are. So Geminis and Scorpios working together to restructure their lives and to clean something out. Maybe this is time to give away a bunch of books or clothes or something that's feels very much like it's holding you back in an old information system. This can be huge, but it can be simple, right? The Tower card doesn't have to mean burn down the house. It can mean, I don't know, just a simple reorganization. Let's put that out there for you guys. But I do feel like your home base feels very insecure. Things feel kind of up in the air. And so you're trying to work on stabilizing your home base, but you can't do it from the place that you're at. So what's got to go? You know, we just had that Aquarius full moon. What's got to go? What's been making you crazy? What can you no longer hang out with, right? Stress does kill us. So what has been stressing you out, and where can you rebuild with the foundation that you're looking for? Okay. Do you even know what the foundation that you're looking for is, right? Like that's another one. Okay, let's clear for our Sagittarius. See what our Sagittarius need to hear for the weekend ahead. I'm just reaching out to you in the field of unconditional love and infinite wisdom where all things are possible. What is it that our Sagittarius needs to hear? The Hermit and a Three of Swords. Okay, so spending some time alone with your broken heart. Again, nobody wants to hear that. Are these right? Okay. The Three of Swords is a broken heart card. So I know that some of you Sagittarius are going through a very, very difficult time where things feel heart-wrenching. I know that there's a couple of Sagittarius in my life that have gone through a couple of very heart-wrenching things. And there's a couple of Sagittarius in my life that haven't. So if that doesn't speak to you, don't get scared. I'm not predicting that you're going to have a heartbreak. I just want to acknowledge that the Sagittarius that are going through something heartbreaking get heard and seen, and that wherever you are, that you have some alone time. It's really important to reorient yourself to your own energy. So visualizing yourself in a glass cube over your head, under your feet, having a little bit of space to yourself. It seems like you might be picking up on other people's vibrations and then experiencing them as your own too. And so I just feel like it's time to unplug, get in nature. That can be done positively. You know, this is like a quest back to your own heart, right? So Sagittarius on the quest for truth. This is a quest back to your own heart, and just some time to like sit in your own aura. And kind of shed some of the stuff that has built up on your heart system, right? So you can put your hands on your heart too. You can put your crystals on your hearts, right? Like you can do all kinds of things to transmute this heart energy in a healthy way with yourself. This is kind of a cool card. I haven't seen a hermit card with a spider web on it before, but spider is the great mother in many ways. It's the great writer. And so this could be that a lot of our Sagittarius are rewriting the messages of their heart, right? They're rewriting their heart's desire. And you can go really deep with that and create something profound with your life. Okay, clear for Capricorns. Are Capricorns watching this Morning. Sorry, I'm recording in the morning and I keep saying morning. All right. Any Capricorns watching for the weekend ahead? What is it that our Capricorns need to hear? Hopefully some better readings than the ones we've gotten so far, guys. I'm sorry. I love you. All right, let's clear for our Capricorns. All right, we've got a 10 of Pentacles, yay, and then a devil, boo. So the 10 of Pentacles, the card of abundance. You can see bees on this card, which is about community. So sometimes our Capricorns tapping into community resources are going to be helpful this weekend. Go to the farmer's market, infuse your money into the community that you want to be a part of. Vote with your dollar, so to speak, Capricorn. This is a good card of money, abundance, wealth, and where do you want to infuse that and share and be a part of? Now we got the devil card to contend with too. So some of you might be using money negatively, right? Like we usually get this card when we're obsessing about money and sex. Okay, these are the two big ones that I see in my practice anyways. This is a beautiful devil card. And so reminder that devil backwards is lived. And so what do you already know about yourself, about big money that you don't want to repeat? Okay, be careful with it. And how do you want to rewrite your money story? This is again the card of abundance and wealth. Everything's going to be okay for you. But I don't know, sometimes we get a lot of money out of something that has been traumatic. That could be like stirring up for you right now. The devil card is about, have you ever used money irresponsibly? Or something like that could be coming up, and you could say like, I'm not going to do that anymore. There could be like, through my own lived experience, I want to help somebody else, right? That could be the thing. So lots of interpretations for this. The main thing I'm going to say is your community is really important to you, and you are really important to your community. Okay, Capricorn. All right. Let's clear for our Aquarius. What is it that our Aquarius need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance. All right, Aquarius, interesting. Two queens. We've got a swords and a cups. So our Aquarius needing to step into that queen energy, right? That whether you're male or female really doesn't matter. This is a message of being honest, being direct, and being stern, and having to draw clear boundaries and say, this is where, like, I'm open on these hours, not these hours. I'm not open on the weekend. I am open on the weekend, whatever. I'm open to that conversation. I'm not open to that conversation. This is a card of clarity, and sometimes it can come across as very rough. It was taught to me as the mother-in-law card, which is kind of rude because I know that there's a lot of beautiful mother-in-laws that don't have sharp tongues, but this is the card of sharp tongues, of having to say something that's honest and clear and uncomfortable, but yet you've got the Queen of Cups here. So I know that you're going to be able to deliver your message with love. It looks like you're going to have a courageous conversation, or somebody's going to kind of put you on the spot. I want you to come from your deep heart, your real, like, I don't know, just as honest as you can be. And so this weekend, Aquarius, it's like, here's what you want to say. If I'm honest with myself and with you, then this is how I feel about it. If I'm honest with you and myself, this is how I feel about it. People want you to be honest with them, and it can be uncomfortable, but it's going to feel a lot better than being dishonest for everybody, right? And dishonesty, I'm not saying like, oh, like you're purposely lying about something, or hiding something, or concealing information, or lying by omission. That's not what I mean when I say dishonest. I mean, not taking the time to understand how you really do feel, right? Like, I don't know, we might have to have some more conversations, Aquarius. If you want to talk about that, let's get into the comments about what that might mean for you, or feel free to book a session with me. Because this feels very like a very powerful, pivotal moment in your life. Maybe you're able to say something for the first time that you've never been able to say. It might be a moment of reckoning, So very powerful medicine cards, the owl and the shamu, the orca, the killer whale. Okay, the killer whale, of course, there's medicine in the pod, the community, the family. All right, so having a moment of reality just being real with somebody, right? Just being really real, finding the essence of what you want to say. Could come out in a letter, could come out in a real-time conversation. Let's clear for Pisces. So what is it that our Pisces need to hear? Just some practical advice or guidance. Okay. Ooh, Two of Cups and Ace of Cups. Finally, a good reading. Some of you Pisces are falling in love. This is the card of relationships, of your beloved. It could be you and the divine. It could be you in love with yourself. But usually it's a card of relationship, goodness, juiciness, something good coming your way, a freshness to it, the Ace of Cups. So Ace is coming to us for a full year. So like a freshness in your relationship. This is positive. This is possibly meeting somebody new. If you're looking for love, this is a good card setup to have. If you're already in a relationship, this is a good card setup to have. This is a return to love, a return to innocence. You know, the Enigma song, right? This is a return to that like childhood hope and innocence. And it's not like fairy tale love, but it's like a connection that is just very juicy and powerful. And this is a reminder to see God in each other, to see love in each other, right? That we all deserve more unconditional love, not less. So keep believing in it, Pisces, because it's there for you. It's there with you. You might already be experiencing it in your great love. The love that you have for yourself, for the other, that just overflows. So just keep your rose-colored glasses on, I would say. Look for that Venus-Jupiter trine next week. Might really do you good. Look for good news. You're going to find it. Okay, let's do a universal reading. I'm going to pull one from this deck and one from another deck. Page of Swords. Okay, so here we are with the Page of Swords, and then I'm going to pull an Ascended Master. This is an older deck, and the Ascended Masters are there for us to learn from their life. And sometimes this is the only way that you might be exposed to some Ascended Masters you might not have never heard of. And so periodically, I really like jumping into this deck. So the Universal Teacher, Melchizedek, and the Law of Attraction, along with the Page of Swords. So this is another reminder about thinking and speaking your future into existence, right? And so there's the Joe Dispenza meditations on breaking the habits of becoming yourself is one of my favorite things to listen to on my morning walk. It really helps you specifically dissolve old patterns, the old self. It helps you become aware of it. And the more clearly you can identify the old self and the old mind and the old way of thinking, you know, the less you fall into the trap of it. It makes me think of this weasel card, right? So if we can identify that, then we can separate, we can detach from it and attract what we really want. And one of the things that he says is like, okay, go ahead and call forward that thing. Like you are responsible for designing, not creating. And that's the spiritual law of attraction. You are responsible for designing your life, but not creating it. So once you design it, you want to let go of the details and the specifics and let the great mind orchestrate all of the details for you. And he says, go ahead and ask that great mind for a sign that you have been heard, right? And so yesterday I was doing this practice, and I asked for an orange butterfly. And I'm not a butterfly person, which is kind of why I did it. I'm like, give me a bear, give me a scorpion, give me, something like really powerful and medicine-y. And I just was like, they'll never give me a butterfly. They'll never give me a butterfly, right? And I asked for an orange butterfly. And this was after my like crying in the cafe moment, journaling, doing all of this Lionsgate stuff, that I've been working on all month, really. And I open my phone and I start to scroll, and there's 3 rocks that have orange butterflies painted on them. And so Spirit knew that I might not be in a place where there was an orange butterfly this time of year or the season or even the art and the types of places that I go to. So it put it on my phone for me just for a moment, right? And so this spiritual law of attraction, you can plant those seeds too. You can ask for symbols from your loved ones, from spirit, as your connection to spirit gets stronger and stronger. You can do little things like that. You know, the Abraham Hicks one about it, you can create a button or a castle. It's just what you want to focus on, right? This Page of Swords, what you want to focus on is going to come to you. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you think about. Be careful what you think about yourself. Another great activity is to ask your friends to describe you in 5 words, and then use those words for yourself. Hopefully they've given you something beautiful. And would you know how differently my friends describe me, right? Would you know how differently they describe me? And it's helpful. It's helpful to see yourself through their eyes, right? And to use that for yourself, not against yourself, but to look in the mirror and tell yourself something positive that is from a friend. That can help you with the spiritual law of attraction. Maybe some of you want to look at Melchizedek and his work, all right? His life, his story. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Take what you want and leave the rest. Meditate, go for a walk, move the body, breathe. Everything you need to know is right inside of you. It's not out there. All right, love you. Namaste. See you next time. Visit us at wiseskiescollective.com.